More children are starting school depressed and anxious, with about 200,000 Australian kids, I should say, aged 6 to 7 dealing with a type of emotional problem. Preschool depression is a new term coined to describe the affliction. I'm keen to hear what parenting expert Claire Orange has to say on this. Hi, Claire.
Afternoon, Tracy.
Is it really possible to diagnose such a grown-up condition in such a young child?
Yeah, of course it is. You know, we've had a decade of finding out more, really, the last decade about the human brain, and certainly the paediatrics and the childhood conditions of the human brain we know even more about now. So while it's unfortunate, we know that, you know, it runs genetically through families, and there are some children who are more vulnerable than others. We know that children experience really big things and they don't have a mature enough system to be able to cope with it, and some children just have that temperament that lends itself to that more melancholic approach socially and emotionally.
And studies have found children depressed in preschool were more than twice as likely to exhibit symptoms of depression later in childhood. How important is early intervention?
Well, early intervention in every childhood developmental condition, including that with mental health, is really very important. And we know, you know, the first 1,000 days of a child's life from conception till 2 are essential. The first 5 years of life, they're developing their brain architecture that's really going to inform their mental and physical health over their lifetime. So the earlier we get in there and provide some sort of remediation and intervention for these little people, most certainly the better their chances are as they get older to be in control of their mental health.
What are the warning signs parents can look out for?
Right, well, it is a particular diagnosis, and although we're seeing more children diagnosed with anxiety and depression, it certainly does present slightly differently in childhood to the way that we would see it present, say, in an adult. So for our little children, you might see patterns of anger and irritability, little children who become emotionally aroused about things more often than you would expect or differently to the way they did before, patterns of social exclusion, so they will exclude themselves and become isolated. We'll see changes. There might be more tummy aches, more headaches for our children, sleeping, eating, all those things that you would expect, Tracy, will go with a mood disorder too.
And finally, what are parents' options out there?
Well, there's lots of options, and the options and the training is certainly growing. So I'd say to parents out there, if you're worried about your child's mood and how that's impacting them socially and emotionally, is head first to your GP. There's lots of questionnaires that can be done to ascertain where your child is at. But there's also lots of psychotherapy available, like family therapy and play-based therapy for children, where we can really together in our families and individually with the child get underneath that issue. So parents, if you are concerned, now is the best time to be doing something about your children's mental health.
Yeah, absolutely right. Claire Orange, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Tracy.